My own daughter called me a worthless loser who didn't deserve to live in her house. I'm Tom Wilson, and I've spent 30 years building something my daughter never bothered to understand. She demanded my $3 million beach house for her billionaire boyfriend, posted about it on Instagram for 500,000 followers to see, and gave me 24 hours to pack my junk and get out. What she didn't know was that I didn't just own that house. I owned the one she thought was hers too. And by sunrise, both were gone. I didn't argue. I didn't shout. I just picked up my phone and made 3 calls. If you're watching this, please subscribe and let me know where you're watching from. Because this story starts 3 decades ago, when I made a promise to myself about the difference between giving someone everything and teaching them to value anything. That promise would cost my daughter more than she ever imagined. Most people look at me and see exactly what my daughter Emma sees. A guy in his mid-50s who drives a 15-year-old Ford pickup with faded blue paint and 180,000 miles on it. Someone who shops at Walmart for $12 flannel shirts and brings $15 wine to dinner parties where everyone else drops $300. Emma Wilson Hayes, 28 years old, 500,000 Instagram followers, and absolutely convinced that her old man is an embarrassment. "Dad, you literally look homeless," she told me last month when I showed up to her birthday party. "Bradford's friends are going to think I come from nothing." Bradford Hayes III, real estate dynasty heir, $200 million family empire, drives a $350,000 Lamborghini and wears watches that cost more than most people's cars. The first sign I was losing my daughter happened 6 months ago. She started referring to my Malibu beach house as the family property in conversations. Then my future inheritance. Then just my house. "When Bradford and I get married, we'll obviously need the beach house," she announced over dinner. "You can move into something smaller." More appropriate. Appropriate. That word stuck with me. The second sign came when she posted an Instagram story from my living room. The caption read, "Dealing with family drama." Some people just don't understand their place anymore. The comments were brutal, her followers calling me a boomer dad who was holding back her success. One person wrote, "Girl, just take what's yours. Old people don't need beach houses." Emma screenshotted the worst comments and sent them to me. See? Even strangers get it. I never responded to those texts. I just saved them. What Emma doesn't know is that I've been watching her Instagram stories for months. Watching her show off the penthouse apartment I pay $8,000 a month for. The $35,000 Hermes bag I bought for her graduation. The $95,000 Range Rover lease that comes out of my account every month. In her world, she earned all of it. I was just the lucky guy who inherited one house and somehow managed to keep paying for her lifestyle. "My dad's kind of a fixer-upper person," I heard her tell Bradford's mother at a charity event last spring. "Blue-collar background. He tries his best, but he doesn't really understand how things work in our social circle." Our social circle. As if she built the foundation she was standing on. Bradford found this charming, apparently. "It's so authentic," he told his friends within earshot of me. "Emma's keeping it real despite her advantages." Her advantages. The ones that apparently materialized out of thin air. But the breaking point wasn't the comments or the dismissal or even the entitlement. It was what happened 3 weeks ago when Emma brought Bradford to the house for dinner. They walked in like they owned the place. Bradford immediately started measuring walls with his eyes, talking about maximizing the ocean view and updating the finishes. "The kitchen needs a complete gut renovation," Emma agreed. "Maybe we can get started on plans while I'm still here, in my own house." "Dad," Emma said as they were leaving, "Bradford and I have been talking. We're ready to take over the property management. You've done your part, but it's time for people who understand real estate to handle things. People who understand real estate." I nodded and said nothing. That night, Emma had no idea what she'd just triggered. The text message came at 7:30 the next morning. "Dad, Bradford and I have decided. We need you out of the beach house by next Friday. We're having the locks changed and starting renovations. I've already called a realtor friend to help you find something more suitable for your budget." My budget. The budget she thought she understood. I called her immediately. She answered on the 4th ring, sounding annoyed. "Emma, we need to talk about this." "There's nothing to talk about. I'm 28 years old. I'm getting married, and I need to start building my life. You can't expect me to wait forever for you to make room? Make room in my own house? Dad, come on. You know what I mean. The house is family property. It should go to the next generation. Bradford's parents already offered to help with your moving expenses. Bradford's parents, offering to help me move out of my own house. What if I said no? Emma laughed. Actually laughed. Dad, be realistic. You can't afford to maintain a $3 million property on whatever savings you have. The property taxes alone are probably killing you. This is better for everyone, whatever savings I have. Property taxes that are probably killing me. Emma, do you know how I afford that house? Inheritance, right? Grandpa left it to you when he died. Look, I'm grateful for what you've provided, but I need to think about my future now. Bradford and I have actual plans, as opposed to whatever I've been doing for the past 30 years. What happens if I refuse to leave? Dad, don't make this harder than it needs to be. Bradford's father knows property law. He says squatters' rights don't apply to family disputes, and since you never put the house in a trust or anything, we can work something out legally, squatters' rights, in my own house. I'll need to see these legal options in writing. Fine. Bradford's sending over some papers this afternoon. Just remember, we're trying to do this the nice way. Don't force us to get attorneys involved. She hung up. I sat in my kitchen, looking out at the ocean through windows. I've watched the sunrise through for 15 years and realized my daughter genuinely believed she was doing me a favor. The papers arrived by courier at 2 p.m., beautifully formatted letterhead from Hayes & Associates, Bradford's father's firm. The language was polite but clear. I had 30 days to transition ownership of the Malibu property to Emma, or face formal legal proceedings to resolve the inheritance dispute. Inheritance dispute, for a house I bought with my own money. The letter included a detailed timeline. Week 1, pack personal belongings. Week 2, coordinate with Emma's chosen realtor to find appropriate alternative housing. Week 3, finalize property transfer. Week 4, complete move-out. They'd even calculated my estimated living expenses based on typical retirement income for someone of your professional background. The number was insulting. But what really got my attention was the final paragraph. We understand this transition may be emotionally difficult, but we're confident this arrangement serves everyone's long-term interests, including your own financial stability. My own financial stability. They were helping me avoid bankruptcy by taking my house. I read the letter 3 times, then walked to my office and opened the filing cabinet I haven't touched in months, the one Emma's never seen inside. The documents were exactly where I left them. Ocean View Holdings Incorporation papers, property acquisition records, bank statements, Forbes article from 2 years ago titled The Stealth Moguls of Coastal Real Estate. I spread everything across my desk and took pictures with my phone. Then I made a list of calls I needed to make. First call, Margaret Anderson, my attorney for 25 years. She picked up immediately. Tom? What's wrong? You sound different. Margaret, I need you to prepare some documents. And I need them fast. What kind of documents? The kind that teach my daughter the difference between inheritance and assumption. Margaret was quiet for a moment. How fast is fast? 24 hours. And Margaret, make sure everything's ironclad. This is going to get public. Second call, James Taylor, VP of Operations at Ocean View Holdings. Tom, we weren't expecting to hear from you until next month's board meeting. Change of plans, James. I need you to expedite the Harrison Group deal, both Malibu properties. Full asking price, cash only, close within 12 hours. 12 hours? Tom, that's possible. I know it's possible because we've done it before. Make it happen. Third call, Dr. Patricia Brown, the family therapist Emma and I saw briefly last year. Dr. Brown, it's Tom Wilson. I need to schedule an emergency session for tomorrow morning, and I need you to document everything we discuss. By sunset, the machinery was in motion. Emma had no idea what was coming. The dinner party was Bradford's idea. A small gathering, he called it, just close friends and family to celebrate our engagement announcement. 23 people in my living room, drinking wine that cost more than my truck payment, talking about real estate markets and charity galas and vacation homes in Aspen. Emma wore a $30,000 engagement ring Bradford had surprised her with that afternoon. She kept posting Instagram stories every 15 minutes, showing off the ring against the backdrop of our beach house, in her captions. I arrived exactly on time, carrying a bottle of wine from the grocery store. $15.99. The cashier had given me a look when I bought it, like I was making some kind of mistake. Dad! Emma rushed over, but I could see the panic in her eyes. You made it. Wouldn't miss it, I said, handing her the wine. Congratulations on your engagement. She took the bottle and immediately handed it to Bradford's mother, Patricia Hayes. Thank you so much. We'll just put this with the others. Patricia glanced at the label and smiled the kind of smile rich people use when they're being polite about poor people things. How thoughtful. Bradford appeared at Emma's shoulder, wearing a watch that probably cost more than most people make in a year. Tom, great to see you. Emma's been telling everyone about the house transition. Very smooth process. House transition. Like it was already decided. Actually, I said, I haven't agreed to anything yet. The conversation around us got quieter. Not quiet enough for anyone to hear, but quiet enough that I knew people were listening. Emma's face went tight. Dad, we talked about this. Bradford's father already sent the papers. I read the papers. I have some questions. Bradford stepped closer. What kind of questions? My father was very thorough. Legal questions. About ownership and inheritance law. Patricia Hayes materialized beside us, holding a glass of wine that definitely didn't come from my bottle. Is there some kind of problem? Emma looked mortified. No problem. Dad's just being cautious. Cautious about what? Patricia's voice had the tone rich people use when poor people aren't cooperating fast enough. About signing over property rights to a house I've owned for 15 years, I said. The room got noticeably quieter. Bradford laughed. Tom, I think there's been a misunderstanding. The house has been in Emma's family for generations, right? This is just making the paperwork official. Actually, I said, I bought the house in 2009 with my own money. Emma's face went red. Dad, stop! You're embarrassing yourself. How am I embarrassing myself by stating facts? Because everyone here knows about family inheritances, Patricia said smoothly. It's very common for people to feel attached to property even after it's time to pass it down. People to feel attached, like I was a tenant who'd overstayed his welcome. Mrs. Hayes, I said, what do you think this house is worth? Emma mentioned $3 million, I believe. Lovely location. And what do you think my income is? Patricia looked uncomfortable. I really couldn't say. Take a guess. Based on how I dress, what I drive, where I shop, what do you think I make in a year? Emma grabbed my arm. Dad, please stop. Because I'm curious, I continued, how everyone thinks I've been paying property taxes on a $3 million house for 15 years. The taxes alone are $42,000 annually. Bradford frowned. Your father mentioned the inheritance covered property expenses. What inheritance? I asked. The room was definitely listening now. Conversations had stopped. People were pretending to look at their phones while straining to hear. Emma's voice got sharp. Dad, you're making a scene. I'm asking questions about my own house that I bought with money I earned. What money? Bradford's voice had an edge now. Tom, no offense, but Emma mentioned you're basically retired. Property maintenance, insurance, utilities. Where's that money coming from? Where's that money coming from? The question everyone was thinking, but Bradford was rude enough to ask. That's a very good question, I said. Emma, why don't you tell Bradford where you think the money comes from? Emma looked trapped. Dad, you know we don't need to get into your personal finances at a party. Actually, I think we do. Since Bradford's father is so concerned about my financial stability, and since you've told everyone this house needs to go to people who understand real estate. Patricia set down her wine glass. Perhaps this conversation would be better had privately. Would it? Because Bradford seems very confident about property law, and Emma's already announced our house transition to 500,000 Instagram followers. Seems pretty public to me. Emma's face went white. Dad, what are you talking about? I pulled out my phone and showed her the screenshot I'd taken that morning. Her Instagram story from my living room posted at 6:15 a.m., moving forward with family property decisions. Some people need to learn when it's time to step aside. Hatchet new chapter nurtured growth, mindset, hatch property goals. The caption had gotten 237 comments in 6 hours. Most of them variations of Yas girl, take what's yours, and boomers need to make room for the next generation. Emma, I said quietly, You posted this from my kitchen this morning. She stared at the phone. The room was completely silent now. I was just. I was excited about our future. Our future in my house. Bradford cleared his throat. Tom, maybe we should table this discussion. Why? You seemed very confident about inheritance law 5 minutes ago. I looked around the room. 21 people watching my daughter realized she'd made a very public mistake. I think, I said, it's time everyone understood exactly what kind of inheritance we're talking about. I walked to my office and came back with a folder. Emma watched me like I was carrying a bomb. Dad, what are you doing? What I should have done months ago. The phone call I made next would change everything. I dialed Margaret Anderson's number right there in front of everyone. She answered on the second ring. Margaret, it's Tom. I need you to walk me through something. In front of witnesses. Emma looked like she was going to be sick. Dad, hang up the phone. Margaret, if someone bought a property with their own money 15 years ago, and their adult child started claiming inheritance rights to that property, what would you call that? Margaret's voice came through clear enough for people nearby to hear. I'd call it a potential fraud case, depending on the circumstances. Patricia Hayes stepped forward. Tom, I really think we should discuss this privately. Mrs. Hayes, your son and daughter-in-law announced their plans to take my house to a room full of people and 500,000 social media followers. I think privacy shipped, sailed. Margaret, I continued, what if that same person had their boyfriend's father draw up legal papers threatening the actual owner with formal proceedings if they didn't voluntarily surrender the property? Tom, that would depend on the specific language, but it could constitute attempted extortion. Bradford went pale. Now wait just a minute. And Margaret, what if the actual owner had documentation proving not only their purchase of the disputed property, but ownership of multiple additional properties the claimant doesn't even know exist? The room went dead silent. Margaret's voice got interested. Tom, are we talking about the Ocean View Holdings portfolio? Ocean View Holdings. The name hit the room like a dropped glass. Emma stared at me. What's Ocean View Holdings? Margaret, can you explain to everyone what Ocean View Holdings is? Ocean View Holdings is a luxury coastal property management company founded 30 years ago. They own and operate over 200 premium rental properties across 15 states. Current portfolio value is approximately $85 million. Bradford's mouth opened and closed like a fish. And Margaret? Who founded Ocean View Holdings? You did, Tom. You're the founding CEO. I hung up the phone. The silence in the room was so complete I could hear the ocean outside. Emma's voice came out as a whisper. That's not possible. Which part isn't possible? You drive a 15-year-old truck? You shop at Walmart? You brought $15 wine to my engagement party? I also own the building where Bradford's father has his law office. Bradford made a choking sound. And the office building where Patricia's interior design firm is located. Patricia Hayes looked like she'd seen a ghost. And the hotel where you and Bradford had your first date. The Seaside Grand, property number 47 in the Ocean View portfolio. Emma sat down hard on the couch. This isn't real. I opened the folder I'd brought from my office. Bank statements from First National Trust. As of yesterday, liquid assets total $87.2 million. I pulled out another document. Forbes magazine, September 2022 issue. America's Invisible Real Estate Kings. There's my photo on page 63. They called me the Phantom of Pacific Property. Emma grabbed the magazine. Her hands were shaking. Property acquisition records for the past 15 years. 220 properties purchased, renovated, and converted to luxury rentals. Average return on investment, 32% annually. I pulled out my phone and opened an app. This is the Ocean View Holdings Management Dashboard. Real-time occupancy rates, revenue tracking, maintenance schedules. Today's gross revenue. I scrolled down. $43,812. That's impossible, Bradford said. You're a handyman. Emma said you used to fix things for people. I still fix things. I buy broken properties and turn them into profitable businesses. Emma, remember when you asked where the money comes from to pay property taxes on this house? She nodded numbly. This house generates $12,000 a month in rental income when you're not here, which is most of the time. Emma stared at me. Rental income? The guest cottage behind the house? The one you use for your Instagram photo shoots? That's a separate unit. Rents for $4,000 a month. Your photographer friend Jenny has been staying there all summer. She pays through the Ocean View booking system. Jenny pays rent? Jenny pays premium rates. Ocean View, private beach access, proximity to celebrity properties. Very popular with content creators. Bradford found his voice. If this is true, why do you live like, like what? Like someone who doesn't need to prove his worth with expensive cars and designer clothes? Patricia Hayes was reading the Forbes article over Emma's shoulder. Thomas Wilson, founder and CEO of Ocean View Holdings, estimated net worth $85 million, known for his low-profile lifestyle and hands-on management approach. She looked up at me. You're the phantom of Pacific Property. I prefer Tom. But yes, Emma was staring at the bank statements. Dad, why didn't you tell me? Because you never asked. You assumed. You saw an old truck and cheap clothes and decided you knew everything about my financial situation. But I'm your daughter. I should have known. Should you? Emma, when's the last time you asked me about my work? My day? My plans? My anything? She opened her mouth, then closed it. I'll wait. The room waited with me. 21 people watching my daughter realized she didn't know anything about her father's life. Finally, she whispered, I don't remember. Neither do I said. What she found on my desk that morning nearly broke her. Emma left the party without saying goodbye. She took Bradford with her, both of them looking like they'd been hit by a truck. The remaining guests found excuses to leave within 20 minutes, and by 10 p.m. I was alone in my house with 23 empty wine glasses, and the satisfaction of watching entitled people realize their assumptions had consequences. At 11:30 p.m., my phone started buzzing with Instagram notifications. Emma had gone live. I opened her Instagram and found myself watching my daughter have a complete meltdown in real time. She was in her Range Rover, parked somewhere I didn't recognize, with tears running down her face and her 500,000 followers typing rapid-fire comments. You guys, I don't even know where to start. My whole life has been a lie. My dad, my DAD, has been pretending to be poor this entire time. The comments exploded. What? OMG, Emma, tell us everything. Like, he's apparently worth $85 million. $85 million. And he let me think he was some broke retiree who could barely afford his property taxes. More comments. That's insane. Why would he hide that? Rich dads are the worst. Emma wiped her nose with the back of her hand. He owns like 200 properties. He's been in Forbes magazine. Forbes! And I've been paying for dinners because I thought he couldn't afford them. The viewer count was climbing. 43,000 people watching my daughter publicly humiliate herself. And the worst part? He's been charging people rent to stay in our house. Our house. Like Jenny, my photographer, she's been paying $4,000 a month to stay in the guest house. $4,000, and my dad never told me. Bradford appeared in the frame, looking defeated. Babe, maybe you shouldn't. No, Bradford. My followers deserve to know what kind of family they're supporting. My dad deliberately deceived everyone. He made me look like an idiot in front of your parents. 48,000 viewers now. And you know what else? He's been testing me this whole time, watching me make assumptions about his money, letting me plan my future around inheriting his house, and just waiting for me to reveal what kind of person I really am. She was sobbing now. And I failed. I completely failed. I tried to steal my own father's house because I thought he was too poor and too stupid to stop me. The comments were split between sympathy and shock. Some people defending Emma. He should have told you. Parents shouldn't test their kids like that. Others were brutal. You tried to steal his house. This is what entitlement looks like. Your dad sounds like a legend. Bradford's dad sent legal papers to my father. Legal papers, threatening him if he didn't give up his own house. And my dad just let us do it. He let us make complete fools of ourselves. 52,000 viewers. Bradford tried again. Emma, please turn off the camera. Why? So we can pretend this didn't happen? So I can go back to posting about my perfect life while my dad thinks I'm a greedy, entitled brat? She looked directly into the camera. Because that's what I am. I'm exactly the kind of person who would try to steal her father's house because she thought he couldn't afford a lawyer to stop her. The comments were getting nastier. This is so cringe. Delete this while you still can. Your dad dodged a bullet. R.I.P. your reputation. You know what the really sick part is? He pays for everything. Everything. My apartment, my car, my credit cards, my lifestyle. And I convinced myself that I deserved it because he was just some lucky guy who inherited a house. 57,000 viewers. I posted this morning about family property decisions and people needing to step aside. I told 500,000 people that my poor old dad needed to make room for the next generation, and all those people cheered me on because they thought I was taking back what was mine. She held up her phone, showing the morning's Instagram story. Look at these comments. Look what I encouraged people to say about my father. The comments on her live stream were getting worse. Emma, this is painful to watch. Girl, stop. Your career is over. This is actually sad. 23 people watched me try to humiliate my dad tonight, and instead I humiliated myself, in front of Bradford's family, in front of everyone who matters in our social circle. Bradford was pleading now. Emma, please, end the stream. Bradford, your parents think my dad is a deadbeat. Your father tried to intimidate him with legal threats. Your mother offered to help pay his moving expenses because she thought he was too poor to afford them himself. 61,000 viewers. And my dad just stood there and let it happen. He could have stopped it at any time. He could have pulled out his Forbes article or his bank statements or his business cards, but he didn't. He let us reveal exactly who we really are. Emma looked exhausted. He let me show 500,000 people what I'm really like when I think no one important is watching. The comments had turned sympathetic again. Emma, you're having a breakdown. Please get help. Call your dad. This isn't healthy. I don't know how to fix this. I don't know how to apologize for trying to steal someone's house. I don't know how to explain to my followers that everything I've posted about my life has been built on lies. She wiped her eyes. My dad owns the hotel where Bradford and I had our first date. He owns the building where Bradford's father works. He probably owns half the places I've tagged on Instagram. The viewer count hit 64,000. And I called him worthless. I called him a loser. I told him he didn't deserve to live in his own house. Emma looked directly into the camera one last time. If you're watching this, Dad, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And I understand if you never forgive me. She ended the stream. 64,000 people had watched my daughter destroy her own reputation in real time. By sunrise, the life she knew was over. Emma showed up at my house at 6:15 the next morning. I was drinking coffee on the deck, watching the sunrise, when I heard her Range Rover in the driveway. She looked like she hadn't slept. Her Instagram Live breakdown had been clipped and shared across every social media platform by people who couldn't believe what they'd witnessed. TikTok compilations, Twitter threads, YouTube reaction videos. My daughter's meltdown had gone viral in the worst possible way. Dad? I turned around. Emma was standing in the doorway, still wearing yesterday's clothes, holding her phone with a cracked screen. Can we talk? Of course. She sat down across from me, looking out at the ocean. How long have you been awake? Since 4. I always watch the sunrise. Every day? Every day I'm here. For 15 years. Emma was quiet for a long time. Then, Dad, I need to ask you something, and I need you to tell me the truth. Okay. Last night, when you showed everyone those documents and talked to your lawyer and pulled out the Forbes article, was any of that planned? I sipped my coffee. What do you mean? I mean, did you know Bradford and I were going to try to take the house? Did you let us do it so you could humiliate us in front of everyone? Emma, did you plan to try to take my house? No, Yes, I mean, we thought it made sense. When did you start thinking it made sense? She looked at her hands. When Bradford's parents suggested it. They said you were probably struggling financially and too proud to ask for help. They said the responsible thing would be to take over the property management before you got into real trouble. And you believed them? I wanted to believe them. It felt like taking care of you, like being the adult for once. I set down my coffee cup. Emma, how much do you think it costs to maintain this house? I don't know. A lot? Take a guess. 10,000 a month? Closer to 15. Property taxes, insurance, utilities, maintenance, landscaping, security system, plus the guest house management, cleaning services for rental turnovers, and repairs. Emma stared at me. You've been paying $15,000 a month for 15 years? More. Some months. Less. Others. Depends on what breaks. That's almost $3 million. 2.7 million, actually. I keep detailed records. Emma pulled out her phone and opened her calculator app. Her fingers were shaking as she typed. Dad, if you've spent almost $3 million just maintaining this house, how much money do you actually have? More than 3 million. How much more? I stood up and walked to my office. Emma followed. The documents from last night were still spread across my desk, but I opened a different filing cabinet. This one was full of folders, organized by year and property type. These are the acquisition records, I said, pulling out a thick folder marked 2009 to 2012. But I started Ocean View Holdings in 1994 with a $40,000 down payment on a foreclosed duplex in Venice Beach. Emma picked up a property deed, 38 Windward Avenue, purchase price $160,000. That duplex is worth $1.2 million today. It generates $14,000 a month in rental income. I pulled out another folder. 2013 to 2016. This was the expansion phase. 27 properties acquired, all foreclosures or distressed sales. Average purchase price $400,000. Current average value $1.8 million. Emma was reading property deeds like they were written in a foreign language. Dad, how many properties do you own? As of yesterday, 220. 220 properties. Beach houses, mountain cabins, downtown lofts, suburban rentals. Ocean View Holdings has properties in California, Oregon, Washington, Nevada, Arizona, Colorado, Utah, Hawaii, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Virginia, Maryland, and Massachusetts. Emma sat down hard in my desk chair. How is that possible? Compound interest, reinvestment, and a lot of very long days. I pulled out a laptop and opened the Ocean View Holdings management portal. This is our booking system. It handles reservations, payments, maintenance requests, and guest communications for all 220 properties. The screen showed a real-time dashboard. Current occupancy rate, 87%. Today's revenue, $51,436. Week's revenue, $312,890. Emma stared at the numbers. Dad, that says you made $300,000 this week. Good week. Summer vacation season. In 1 week, you made more money than most people make in 5 years. Emma, I've been making this kind of money for 15 years. Where did you think it was going? She looked around my office like she was seeing it for the first time. The simple desk, the basic computer setup, the filing cabinets full of property documents. I thought you were just organized. I am organized. Extremely organized. It's how you manage 220 properties without losing your mind. I opened another folder. These are the Forbes interviews. They've profiled me 3 times in the past 5 years. The invisible moguls of real estate, America's stealth landlords, and the millionaires next door you'd never recognize. Emma picked up the most recent article. The headline read, Thomas Wilson, the $85 million man who drives a $3,000 truck. They interviewed me for 6 hours, I said. Wanted to understand how someone could build this kind of wealth while maintaining a completely normal lifestyle. Emma read the article silently for several minutes. Then she looked up at me with tears in her eyes. Dad, this article calls you one of the most successful real estate entrepreneurs on the West Coast. It says you've created over 400 jobs and generated more than $12 million in local tax revenue. The property management business employs a lot of people. Cleaning crews, maintenance teams, landscapers, security companies, local contractors. It says you've never taken a salary from Ocean View Holdings, that you reinvest every penny back into property acquisition and employee benefits. Why would I need a salary? The business pays for everything I need. Emma stared at the article. Dad, it says here that you've been anonymously funding college scholarships for the children of your employees. Good employees are hard to find. Investing in their families is investing in the business. How much? How much what? How much have you spent on scholarships? I pulled out another folder. $843,000 over the past 10 years. 47 kids so far. Engineers, teachers, nurses, business majors. 2 of them work for Ocean View now. Emma was crying openly now. Dad, I tried to steal your house. You tried to steal one of my houses. How many houses do you own that I don't know about? I smiled. Emma, you know about 2 properties, this house and your apartment building. I own both of them, plus 218 others. You own my apartment building? I bought it 3 years ago. The previous owner was raising rents and evicting long-term tenants. I thought you'd be more comfortable if I controlled your living situation. Emma put her head in her hands. Oh my God. Emma, there's something else you need to know. She looked up. I don't own these properties anymore. Her face went white. What do you mean? I mean I sold them. Yesterday. Both this house and your apartment building. You sold my apartment. I sold everything you thought was yours. Emma stared at me in complete shock. The new owners take possession at noon today. At exactly 7 a.m., my phone rang. James Taylor, Ocean View Holdings, Vice President of Operations. Tom, it's done. Both properties sold to Harrison Development Group. Wire transfers completed 23 minutes ago. 6.4 million total, cash deal, no contingencies. I put him on speaker. Emma listened with her mouth open. James, can you confirm the timeline? Sale contracts executed at 6:07 a.m. Property transfers filed with the county at 6:31 a.m. Harrison Group's attorneys are preparing possession notices now. Should be served by 10 a.m. And the third property? Emma looked confused. Third property? The Oceanfront Towers apartment complex where Emma lives. Sale finalized at 6:54 a.m. Harrison paid $8.2 million, also cash. Emma stood up so fast her chair fell over. You sold my apartment building? Harrison Development Group is Bradford's family's biggest competitor, James continued. They were very motivated to acquire prime coastal properties, especially ones that have been off-market for years. I smiled. James, can you explain to Emma what Harrison plans to do with the properties? Complete renovation and repositioning. The beach house will become a private corporate retreat center. The apartment building will be converted to luxury condos with a 60-day tenant relocation timeline. Emma grabbed my arm. Dad, that means I have to move out in 60 days. It means you have to move out in 60 days, I confirmed. But where am I supposed to live? That's an excellent question. Where do you plan to live? Emma looked panicked. I don't know. I don't have any money saved. You pay for everything. I pulled out my phone and opened my banking app. Emma, look at this account. She leaned over to see the screen. Emma Wilson Trust Fund. Balance $0. What happened to my trust fund? You never had a trust fund. You had a monthly allowance that I transferred from my personal account. $8,000 for rent, $3,000 for expenses, $2,000 for discretionary spending, $13,000 a month for 7 years. Emma did the math on her phone. Dad, that's over $1 million. $1,092,000 to be exact. Where is it going to come from now? It's not. Emma stared at me. What do you mean? I mean the monthly transfers stop today. Your apartment lease terminates in 60 days. Your car lease terminates when this month's payment doesn't go through. Your credit cards get canceled when the autopay accounts are closed. Dad, you can't just cut me off completely. Can't I? Emma's phone started buzzing. She looked at it and went pale. Bradford's calling. Answer it. She swiped to accept the call and put it on speaker. Bradford's voice came through frantic and angry. Emma, what the hell did your father do? My dad just got a call from Harrison Development Group. They own our properties now, all of them. I know, Bradford. He sold them. He sold them to our biggest competitors. Do you have any idea what this means for my family's business? Emma looked at me helplessly. Bradford, I'm sorry. I didn't know he was going to... Sorry. Emma Harrison just acquired prime coastal real estate that my family has been trying to buy for 10 years. Your father deliberately sold to them to hurt us. Actually, I said loudly enough for Bradford to hear, I sold to them because they offered full asking price with cash and a 12-hour close. Business is business. Bradford's voice got nasty. Tom, this is incredibly petty. You're punishing Emma because your feelings got hurt. Bradford, Emma tried to steal my house. Your father threatened me with legal action. Your mother offered to pay my moving expenses because she assumed I was poor. Which part of that should I reward? We were trying to help Emma secure her future by taking property that didn't belong to her. Property that should have been hers anyway. According to who? Bradford was quiet for a moment. Then, look, Tom, maybe we can work something out. My father has connections. We can arrange financing for Emma to buy something else. With what income? Her influencer income, brand partnerships, sponsored content, affiliate marketing. Emma winced. Bradford, I lost 30,000 followers last night. My brand partnerships are getting canceled. Nobody wants to work with someone who tried to steal her father's house. What do you mean you lost followers? Emma showed me her phone. Her Instagram account, which had 500,000 followers yesterday, now showed 423,000 and dropping. My Instagram Live last night has been turned into compilation videos. Entitled Influencer Tries to Steal Dad's House, Rich Girl Meltdown Goes Viral, When Privilege Meets Reality. They're everywhere. Bradford was silent for a long moment. Then, Emma, I think we need to take a break. What kind of break? The kind where we don't see each other for a while. My parents are furious about the Harrison deal. This whole situation has become too complicated. Emma's voice got small. Bradford, are you breaking up with me? I'm saying I need time to figure out how to explain to my family that my girlfriend's father just sold prime real estate to our biggest competitors. But we're engaged. We were engaged. Before your father declared war on my family's business, I took the phone. Bradford, I didn't declare war on anyone. I sold property to buyers who met my terms. If that hurts your family's business, maybe your family should have made better offers. Tom, this isn't over. Actually, it is. Emma is no longer my financial responsibility, which means she's no longer your access point to Ocean View Holdings properties. I'd recommend your family start looking for real estate investments elsewhere. I hung up. Emma stared at her phone like it had betrayed her. Dad, Bradford just broke up with me. I heard. Because of what you did. Because of what we both did, Emma. The difference is I did it on purpose. Emma started crying again. Dad, I don't have anywhere to go. You have 60 days to figure it out. With no money, no job, and no boyfriend. Welcome to adulthood. The eviction notice was served at exactly 10 a.m. by a Harrison Development Group attorney who looked like he'd rather be anywhere else. Emma signed for it with shaking hands while I watched from the kitchen window. By noon, the story had exploded beyond social media. Local news picked it up first. Malibu property mogul sells $14.6 million in real estate after family dispute. Then the real estate blogs got hold of it. Ocean View Holdings CEO executes stunning revenge sale to Harrison Group. Emma's phone hadn't stopped ringing. Reporters, bloggers, former brand partners, friends who suddenly wanted to check in and get the inside story. She'd turned it off after the fifth call from someone claiming to be from TMZ. Dad, there are photographers outside. I looked out the front window. 3 cars parked across the street, telephoto lenses pointed at the house. They want pictures of the house that started the viral family feud, I said. You're famous now. This isn't the kind of famous I wanted to be. Emma's Instagram account was hemorrhaging followers by the hour, down to 387,000 and falling. The comments on her recent posts were brutal. Her brand partnerships were getting canceled faster than she could read the emails. Fashion Nova, Revolve, Daniel Wellington, Athletic Greens, all gone within 6 hours. Dad, Sugar Bear Hair, and Sugar Bear just terminated my contract. They said I'm no longer aligned with their brand values. What were your brand values when you tried to steal my house? Emma winced. I wasn't thinking about brand values. I don't know what I was thinking about. You were thinking about what you wanted. And you assumed you could take it. Emma's phone buzzed with a text from her assistant. Sophia says Revolve wants their clothes back. All the clothes they sent for content creation. They're sending a courier. How much clothing is that? Maybe $15,000 worth? I have to return everything I haven't posted yet, and some stuff I have posted. I watched Emma start gathering designer pieces from her closet. Dresses, shoes, handbags, all tagged with little paper labels indicating which brand sent them. Emma, how much of your wardrobe actually belongs to you? She stopped folding a jacket. What do you mean? I mean, how much of the clothing in your closet did you buy with your own money? Emma looked around her room like she was seeing it for the first time. I don't know. Most of this is brand partnerships or things you bought me. Show me something you paid for yourself. Emma searched through her closet for several minutes. Finally, she held up a pair of jeans. These. I bought these at Target 2 years ago for $39. Anything else? She kept looking. Found a sweater from H&M, some underwear, a few t-shirts. Total value, maybe $200. Emma, You're 28 years old, and you own $200 worth of clothing that you actually paid for. Everything else was free or gifts. Nothing is free. Someone always pays. Emma sat down on her bed, surrounded by piles of clothes that had to go back to companies that no longer wanted to be associated with her. Dad, I don't know how to live without money. Most people figure it out. Most people didn't grow up with a secret millionaire father. Most people don't try to steal their father's house either. Emma's phone buzzed again. This time it was a call from her best friend Madison. Oh my God, are you okay? I just saw the news. Emma put it on speaker. Which news? All of it. The Instagram Live, the property sale, the breakup with Bradford. It's everywhere. People are calling it the biggest influencer meltdown of the year. Madison, I don't know what to do. Babe, you need to disappear for a while. Let this blow over. Maybe go stay with your dad until things calm down. Emma looked at me. Madison, I can't stay with my dad. He sold the house. He sold your house? He sold both houses. And my apartment building. I have to move out in 60 days. Madison was quiet for a moment. Do you need a place to stay? I don't have any money. Dad cut me off completely. What do you mean, cut you off? I mean no more allowance, no more credit cards, no more anything. I have like $300 in my checking account. Oh, shit. And Bradford broke up with me, and all my brand partnerships are getting canceled, and I'm probably going to be internet famous for all the wrong reasons for the next 6 months. Madison's voice got careful. Maybe you should apologize to your dad. I tried. He's not listening. I spoke up. Emma, I'm listening. I'm just not rescuing. Dad, what's the difference? The difference is that listening means I hear you. Rescuing means I fix your problems for you. I'm done fixing your problems. Emma started crying again. But I don't know how to fix them myself. Then you'd better learn. By evening, the story had made national news. CNN ran a segment called When Family Money Goes Wrong. Fox Business did a piece on millennial inheritance expectations. From the New York Post ran the headline, Daughter demands dad's $3 million house, gets evicted instead. Emma's Instagram story meltdown had been viewed over 2 million times across all platforms. Someone had made it into a TikTok sound that was trending with videos of other people's family drama. She'd become a cautionary tale about entitlement and assumptions. Dad, I'm going to be remembered forever as the girl who tried to steal her dad's house. That's up to you. What do you mean? I mean, you can be the girl who tried to steal her dad's house, or you can be the girl who learned something from trying to steal her dad's house and became a better person. Emma looked at me. How do I become the second one? You start by figuring out how to live on $300 until you can earn more. Emma stared at her bank account balance on her phone. Dad, how long do I have to do this? As long as it takes. 3 weeks later, Emma showed up at my house again. But this time she looked different. She was wearing the Target jeans and H&M sweater, the only clothes that actually belonged to her. Her hair was in a simple ponytail, no professional styling. Her nails were unpolished. She looked like a normal 28-year-old instead of a professional influencer. Dad, can we talk? Of course. She sat down across from me on the deck. Same spot where we'd had our conversation 3 weeks ago. But everything felt different. I got a job. Oh? Coffee shop in Santa Monica. Minimum wage, but it's something. I start Monday. How did you find it? I walked in and asked if they were hiring. Turns out it's that simple when you're not too proud to work. Emma pulled a folded piece of paper from her pocket. I also wrote something. I wanted to read it to you. Okay. She unfolded the paper. Her hands weren't shaking anymore. Dad, 3 weeks ago I tried to steal your house because I thought I deserved it more than you did. I thought you were a failure who got lucky, and I was a success who got cheated. I was wrong about everything. She looked up at me, then back at the paper. I spent 28 years taking everything you gave me and never once asking what it cost you. Not just money, time, energy, choices you didn't make because you were busy taking care of me. I never said thank you because I thought you owed me everything. Emma's voice got steadier. I learned something these past 3 weeks. I learned that I don't know how to do anything. I can't budget money because I never had to think about money. I can't cook because I always ordered delivery. I can't clean because I always had cleaning services. I can't solve problems because you always solved them for me. She folded the paper and looked at me directly. I'm not asking you to take me back. I'm not asking for money or help or anything else. I'm asking for a chance to learn how to be someone you could be proud of. Emma, what does that look like? I don't know yet, but I know what it doesn't look like. It doesn't look like trying to take things that aren't mine. It doesn't look like expecting other people to pay for my choices. And it doesn't look like treating you like you owe me something just because you're my father. Emma stood up. I know you probably can't forgive me. And I know saying sorry doesn't fix what I did. But I wanted you to know that I understand now why you did what you did. What do I understand? You didn't punish me. You taught me. You showed me what my choices actually cost. And you gave me a chance to learn who I am when nobody's paying my way. I looked at my daughter, really looked at her. For the first time in years, I saw someone I recognized. Emma, would you like to have dinner next week? Her face lit up. Really? Really? But you're paying, she laughed. Dad, I make minimum wage now. Then we're going somewhere that serves minimum wage food. Deal. Emma headed toward the door, then turned back. Dad, thank you for everything, even the hard parts. Especially the hard parts. After she left, I sat on my deck and watched the sunset. Tomorrow I'd start looking for a new house. Something smaller, simpler. Something that felt like home instead of an investment. But tonight, for the first time in years, I felt like I'd done something right as a father. If you're watching this story, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. And remember, sometimes the greatest gift you can give someone is the chance to earn what they thought they deserved.